going, without a doubt, Rudy Gobert, right? And I know that, people will come up, man, Pat, you tripping again, man. It's Ben Wallace, man. Even Shaq said he was the greatest defender. Like, I don't think y'all understand how elite Rudy Gobert is, right? So I'm not Derek Fisher, bro. Like, bro, I am not Derek Fisher. Like, and you could take that left or you could take that right, however you want to take that. Like, bro, this ain't that.
And you would always show love. You would say hello, very cool, very down to earth. You were the go-to guy before social media. Guys confided in you. You know where a lot of bodies lie at on both sides of the fence. You were a guy that we guys in the NBA turn to. Fast forward, my career gets going, and it's always respectful every time we see each other.
We know Matt Barnes responded the other day.
And then come to the end of my career, I'm jumping in the media space, sign a deal with ESPN, and you're open arms, open book, phone number, questions, whatever, show super love. So I never want to seem like I'm not appreciative to how you helped me in this space and how you helped a lot of athletes in this space. You've helped a ton of people, and you're at the top as far as this sports shit goes. But I remember after that shit, us getting closer and just talking more and really talking business. And I remember all the smoke was already up and running. And the production company I had just launched, and you were talking about launching your own company, launching your YouTube page. We talked about doing shit together.
Where it was Minnesota versus Dallas.
And then I want to say the following summer is when the big ESPN deal hit, if I'm not mistaken. You were telling me about the Sirius satellite deal you got and that bread. And I was excited, bro. Like, looked up to you. You keep raising the bar, do your thing. I'm following you. And then I kind of start seeing you settle in with these new deals and new money, and I start seeing you on Fox. And I'm like, damn, bro's tripping. And the group chat and the homies and people in the industry, like, man, fuck Stephen A. He's on there. And I was like, nah, y'all don't know him. I'm defending you. Like, I'm defending. Like, nah, y'all know bro off camera. He's solid. And I never in my life have I seen an NBA journeyman role player try to call out another NBA journeyman role player to try to convince himself and whoever else will listen that one role player is better than the other role player. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Like, what are we really talking about, man? What are we talking about? I used my 14 years in the NBA as a platform for the rest of my life. And I left under my own accord. I played 14 years and left with 2 years on my deal and was paid for 2 extra years and was excited for what was next in my life. You, Patrick, got pushed out the league and didn't get to finish the way you wanted to and had to go overseas and act like it was joyful and fun when you knew you missed finishing your career the way you probably should have. But your issue is your arrogance and your ego. I was a role player, just like you, and I played my role until I didn't want to play basketball no more. You are a role player who talks like a Hall of Famer, like you're going in this year's draft, this year's Hall of Fame class. You walk around like you're a 15-time All-Star and you have multiple championships. That's why you're in the position you're in now, at the bottom, trying to be the clickbait king or the hot take king, starting at the bottom. When you had a successful show and you fucked yourself out of that and your partners didn't want you no more. And now you figure, hey, let me take shots at people and talk shit about people to get my numbers up instead of going about this shit the right way, bro. And just giving your insight and your expertise on what is going on. Every time you talk, you're using players that are better than your name to try to build cases and give hot takes in your opinion. I'm an opinionated guy. You just look like a clown. Clickbait, hot takes. That's the guy you're trying to be, instead of bringing value to this space. So like you said and like I said, it is what it is. You're not Derek, I'm not your sister. But I know that I took my career and my path to my next career. And I'm building a media empire. And what are you doing? You're sitting up there with button-up shirts with your legs crossed, giving your hot takes on everybody. What's your latest hot take? That Rudy Gobert was better than Ben Wallace? Fuck out of here.
Alright, hold up. Steven Jackson finally steps in. But listen to this. He basically says they're making way too much money for him to even jump into this mess. He's like, nah, I'm staying back and letting Matt handle all that smoke. Now here's where I had to pause. My real issue came from Pat Beverly's take, because what he's pushing sounds like that same old Ben Wallace versus Rudy Gobert debate. And I'm noticing a pattern. He keeps acting like today's era is automatically better than anything before he even touched the league. And look, if you want people to take you serious, you got to bring balance and actually explain why one player is better. Because nothing about Rudy Gobert, especially when we're talking toughness and being an enforcer, really matches up. I mean, let's not forget what happened when Draymond Green ran up on Gobert, locked him in that headlock, and dragged him across the court. Be real, do you honestly think that ever happens to Ben Wallace? We literally saw Metta World Peace get shoved in the face by Ben Wallace and hesitate once, twice, even 3 times before doing anything. But the second that cup came flying from the crowd and he spotted someone smaller, he rushed straight into the stands. And that tells you everything, because Ben Wallace was the reason it even escalated like that in the first place. He got shoved, and instead of instantly charging back with that same energy, there was hesitation, there was calculation. And we even saw early Draymond situations where Metta got in his face after a hard foul, and Draymond looked away like he wanted no part of it. So yeah, I'm saying all that to make one thing clear. There are levels to this. When you talk about enforcers like Draymond Green and Ben Wallace, there's a real fear factor involved. And Ben Wallace had that on top of being elite defensively. Meanwhile, Gobert gets labeled as a shot blocker and rim protector, but not someone players truly fear. There's this vibe like, yeah, we can push him around a little. Offensively, he's awkward, kind of unorthodox, not really threatening. Now, don't get it twisted. Ben Wallace wasn't some offensive superstar either, but he played his role perfectly, caught lives, used his strength, and dominated where it mattered. And when it comes to rebounding, he was on a completely different tier. We're talking 15, 16 boards a night consistently. That's Rodman level impact right there. And that's what makes a player special, because grabbing that many rebounds creates extra possessions and shuts down the opponent completely. That's real value, not just numbers. Now, switching gears, this whole Pat Bev and Matt Barnes situation, yeah, it's definitely podcast content, but it's getting wild, because Matt Barnes isn't even waiting to package it up neatly. He's firing off immediately to get his point across. Meanwhile, you already know Pat Bev is going to run back to his podcast and milk this for even more content. So if Matt really believes Pat is just chasing clicks and engagement, then jumping into it only feeds the machine. And that's the game now. Name drop big players, make bold comparisons, and watch it blow up. Say something like Harden over D Wade and boom, instant reaction. And yeah, I get where some of that comes from. Pat got drafted and dealt to Miami, waved during the D Wade era, then had to grind overseas before Houston gave him a shot. That's where he built his connection with James Harden and made real money. So of course, he's going to ride for Harden differently. But once people recognize that angle, they'll start seeing the bias in those takes. And let's be honest, a lot of former players carry bias when they speak. Their experiences shape how they view certain guys in ways fans just can't relate to. But when I'm comparing someone like James Harden to D Wade, I'm looking at everything. Both ends of the floor matter. Who showed up when it counted in the playoffs? What moments actually defined their legacy? Because Harden, for all his greatness, has those postseason question marks hanging over him. Yeah, he puts up crazy regular season numbers, high usage, all that. But when I stack him against D Wade, I still got Wade comfortably ahead. And honestly, I might not even rank Harden in my top 4 or 5 shooting guards, because I'm not just chasing stats. I'm looking at impact, era, and how they played the game. Harden is nice, no doubt,